everybody. How's it going? My name is Jen, and I am one of the co founders of Altenew, and I'm really excited to be here for another live. If you were expecting Lydia, I am so sorry I'm not Lydia, but unfortunately, she couldn't make it today, so I am stepping in for her. But I will be sure to let her know that you guys all missed her. I hope that everyone is having an amazing day, whether it is the morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, wherever it is that you are. I hope that you are feeling crafty or at least ready to see some inspiration. I'm going ahead and checking in on some of the comments that you guys have already left. If you've shared this video, you are amazing. You know the deal already. If you are new to our lives, please share while we are live, because if you do, then you'll be entered in for a chance to win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. And today will be a great day for you to win that gift certificate because we have a new release. And we have some amazing products that maybe you've seen already if you've been checking in on the blog hop. If not, I'm excited to unveil those to you today. So I'm just going to say hello to some of our loyal fans. Hello to Stacy and Carol. Thank you for sharing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Avril, my hair is a lot lighter. It's really funny because I don't think I've ever had this light hair before, but I went on a long vacation at the Jersey Shore with my husband and his family. They rent a beach house every year. And I don't know what it was, but it was like every day I went to the beach, my hair got lighter and lighter and lighter. So I'm excited to dye it again. I kind of miss like the more saturated colors, but I am dyeing it a lighter pink this time. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, there's very little color left. You could see some in the bottom where the sun wasn't hitting it. But yeah, it's a new look. I'm impressed you noticed that. You have a keen eye, Avril. Yeah, Sue, it's been a while since I've seen you guys. Hello to everybody else. Lilith, love seeing you here. Thank you for coming in. And everybody else that is popping in to say hello, welcome. Good thing the camera wasn't pointing down when I did that, or we'd all be a little shaky and dizzy. All right, so let's run through these. I always say I'm going to do it quickly, but I also always have a lot to share about these products that maybe you don't know from watching the unboxing video, or that you haven't learned from checking out the blog hop or the designers projects. So I always like to give you guys a little background information on some of these products, and we are going to get started. I'm going backwards. Usually I start with the stamps and dies. I'm feeling spicy today. We are going backwards. I'm going to be showing you some embossing folders first. And oh my goodness, this is the Floating Feather 3D die. And we've left a lot of empty space here so that you can either add additional elements like die cuts or stamping, or you've just got some great places to put your sentiment. And you can, really make the feather float by rotating this guy around and embossing it in different directions on your cardstock. So that is a fun one. And we really love kind of like feather motifs. I feel like when it comes to Altenew, you think of flowers, and we're always trying to give you what you're looking for, but we also love doing other themes as well. But you know what? We do also have flowers. So this is the botanical 3D embossing folder category, and we have rolling foliage. So this is just some flowers and foliage here, just a very like doodly style. But what's nice is that there's some big areas you can color in. So I normally wouldn't like jump into an embossed texture background and be like, let me grab some alcohol markers and color it in. I more likely be doing ink blending. But because this has some flatter areas, you can see here within the petals, that is some great area to just get out your alcohol markers and go to town coloring in each of those sections. And because you have the raised areas, it's kind of like doing a coloring book where you have some borders where you're not going to go outside of the lines. Like, it's keeping you contained. Cece, hello. I'm glad you're tuning in from Sweden. And everybody else who's shared, and thank you for joining us too. Avril, yeah, that's a peacock feather. on the Floating Feather 3D embossing folder. So as you know, peacock feathers are gorgeous with blues and greens and stunning colors. So if you did want to add some color to that, you can really go wild with it. Or I think if you used some metallic cardstock, that would be stunning. I don't know if you've seen I'm like getting off topic. This is why it's called Craft and Chat with Jen, because we chat. But if you haven't seen our brushed metallic cardstock yet, it is like spectacular. I'm really not doing it justice. The camera really doesn't pick it up as well. As you guys know, it's really hard to photograph or see glitter or shiny textures on camera, but you can see my light is really bouncing off that. And there's like a striated, not physical texture, but a texture in the way it looks. So you kind of see these little lines going through it, and it is so pretty. I think I have something that I don't. Okay. I thought I had this embossed panel nearby, and things are always a mess around here. So if we have some time, I will definitely emboss this for you. And if not, I recommend you try it on your own because it is so pretty the way this cardstock embosses. Just, I feel like that metallic quality of it really lets the texture of the embossing come through. So you have a lot of variety between the shaded like shadow areas and then the bright metallic areas that's like hitting the light. So it's really fun. We have a stencil, the intricate mandala stencil. And this really is intricate, like very intricate. I'm sure you can see. We have the positive and the negative, so you can use both of them together. So if you don't want to blend the entire background around this mandala, you would absolutely want to use that other piece. So let me show you what I mean. So here is the mandala itself. Like seriously, this I just want to put on something as it is, right? Like just this plastic stencil looks really nice. But yeah, you would want to use some ink blending tools and just be a little delicate when you're inking through it. But like I said, if you don't want the remainder of your cardstock to get inked up, then you would just do this. You could even use a little bit of tape, low tack tape, like our satin masking tape, to just use this to protect the outer edge. So that is the intricate mandala. And now we are going into stamps, dies, coordinating stencils. I am going to check again to see if I've missed any comments. If I miss anything, don't worry. Angel is behind the scenes taking care of any questions or putting in some links. So if there's something I talk about and either you don't hear what I said, or if you're not sure where to find it, then definitely look in the comments and those links will be there for you. Hey, Dawn from New Zealand. I love seeing that we have so many viewers from around the globe. It's really fantastic. And Cece saying I need that as a die. Yeah, now that I'm talking about it, I think I need it as a die too. Let's see if we can make that happen. It will be a very intricate die. Like we do have with the manufacturer, like minimum requirements of how thick areas can be, just because the quality of the die cut itself, after you use that die, you want it to still have some integrity so it doesn't rip when you die cut it. So I don't know if we can necessarily get this intricate, but let's see what we can do because I really think it'd be pretty. All right, now we have some 4x6 stamp. Actually, before we get into 4x6, let's go with the little guy. We have a adorable 2x3 stamp set. I'm sorry if it always looks like I'm wondering which way to put this, but on my viewfinder, everything is like backwards. So if I point this way, it looks like I'm pointing that way, and I still haven't gotten the hang of it. All right, so here we have the Wildflower Garden add-on stamp set, and this does coordinate with the Wildflower Garden stamp set that we released years ago. So you fans out there who have been with us since the early days, you may have this in your stash. If you don't have it in your stash, no worries. It's a perfect set by itself. It really is like a cute little, easy to, I don't want to say layer because it's not a layering set, but you would stamp the flower heads separately from the leaves and the stem. It's really easy just to put together and make a cute little background, or you can even just stamp one and make it a focal point, or you can get the other stamp set and use them together. All right, now we have a die for that too. Of course, I'm not going to show you that. You can watch Lydia's video of the unboxing to see the dies up close. All right, up next we have the One Go birthday greetings. And this was actually something that customers were requesting of us, is to have a way that you can stamp a lot of sentiments at once. If you guys know, we have a stamp set, actually three, called the Sentiment Strips stamp set, and those have been really popular. And I know a lot of customers actually keep them on the acetate sheet, ink it up, and then place the cardstock on top and just make sure you press down evenly so that they can stamp all of those greetings at once, and then they cut them up. So inspired by that concept, they have been asking us to do a stamp set where it's all attached. So that's why we have some really basic, really versatile year-round greetings that you can use on a lot of different projects. I know sometimes it's hard to see through the live stream. So we have happy birthday, have a great day, I love you, blessings, which is always a nice year-round sentiment. Today is your day, thinking about you on your special day, and more like that. But then the magic comes with the die, because the die is in one piece as well. So if you want to stamp them once and you don't want to trim them out by hand, you can definitely just run them through your die cut machine, and then you have all these cute little sentiments ready to go on any project. So I would recommend stamping in black on white cardstock, then doing it again, stamping on black or dark cardstock and heat embossing it with maybe some white embossing powder or silver or gold, and then just keeping them in like a little dish or cup or something near your crafting space so that you can always go in and grab them if you need a sentiment for your card. And one more tip. I'm sorry, I'm so chatty. I don't know why I'm apologizing, but I just feel like I need to, because you're like, Jen, get to a project already. But I was going to say, oh no, I forgot my stream of thought. I interrupted myself. But when you are doing your sentiments, I remembered, you can make your cards in advance if you don't have an occasion to give it to anyone yet, and just leave off the sentiment. And then when you're looking for a card for someone's birthday, you can rifle through your cards that you've already created, then grab the sentiment, pop it on. All right, Precious Doodles stamp set. This one is really cute. Another 4x6 stamp set. Very easy layering. And I think I'm going to use this one today because I like offsetting the outline from these solids. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'm going to set this aside so I don't forget to use it today. But I also grabbed some really fun colors. Like, I don't usually pick my colors in advance, but I was like feeling a bright, cheerful color palette today. So I actually grabbed some colors ahead of time. So if you know me, that is a rare, rare occurrence. Naomi, don't worry about being late to the party. Yeah, you can always go back and watch on the replay if you've missed anything. But we've got coordinating die. All right, now I'm going to try to like hustle through these so that we can actually get to that project, because I'm excited to do some stamping. But we have the amazing Arch of Flowers stamp set. And this one's really sweet and doodled also. You can tell that we had kind of like a whimsical perspective for this release. We do try to theme every release. This one is bold and beautiful. So we just have really like simple, bold lines that are really versatile and sweet and timeless. Simple coloring stencil to go with that, and a die. This is a really fun sentiment set that I am looking forward to using. This is called Well Read. Again, I know that me just flashing it for a second on the screen isn't very helpful, but go ahead to our website and you can see these sentiment sets up close and you can see a little better what they have there. But these are all inspired by books. So these are quotes that are coming from literature, and a wide range of books. We've got Through the Looking Glass, which is Alice in Wonderland story. We have Anne of Green Gables, Winnie the Pooh, The Color Purple, Coraline, Great Expectations. If you like literature or you have friends who are into books, this is like a must-have, just because they will appreciate all of the sweet and thoughtful sayings from these quotes. And I think they really do cover a lot of different occasions. I will also set this aside so I can show you that stamped out. The linear spiral background stamp set. This one's just fun. I don't know what to say about it. It's just, you look at it and it's so cool. I do like optical illusions, and I feel like that is what we are getting here a little bit. Even as you can see the packaging, it's like playing with with my eyes over here, just with all the lines and going different directions. Some of the projects on the blog hop today, I noticed the designers were coloring in each of the triangular sections in a different color. It looked so cool. So it's a really great idea. Now, in classic Altenew form, we do have a traditional layering stamp set with all the details that you've expected from Altenew over the years. We're still doing it. So we have the Happy Flowers stamp set. We have some lovely sentiments here, like thank you and appreciation of you and all that you do. You are beautiful. Wishing you a happy day. Always grateful. So these are really good ones to send to friends, family, maybe people you haven't seen in a while. Coordinating die set. And last, but certainly not least, we do have the Dazzling Dahlia. And again, remember I was telling you this is bold and beautiful. So again, bold lines, fun to color, really good whether you're a watercolor artist or if you like using colored pencils, or if you prefer to use markers or ink blending. Like there is just a lot of ways that you can use this stamp set. And, you know, the butterfly, the hummingbird, it's really cute. We do have a die set and a simple coloring stencil set. If you're new to simple coloring concept, basically these are like the best way to get beautiful coloring in a really quick and easy way. So these line up perfectly with the images from the stamp set, and they are all labeled. There is a layering guide, and you can just blend with your favorite ink blending tools, whether you have our ink blending tools, which I recommend because we've done a lot of testing on them, and we really do feel that they are some of the best. But you may have other blending tools from other companies in your stash. They will all work. Just pull them out, get a simple coloring stencil set. It also works without the stamp set if you prefer that like no line colored look or something a little bit softer. And Serena is asking if the butterfly and the hummingbird are part of the stencils. They are. Just let me see if I can show you the sample. It's not like a layered image. So if you can see here, it colors the body, this side, the body of the hummingbird. But while you're ink blending, if you want to use smaller tools, like this is the mini blending brush size. If you want to use a smaller tool, you can blend multiple colors through that. Maybe if we have time, I'll do that too. You guys know I never finish a project. I'm being very ambitious today, thinking I'm going to get to like 3 or 4 things. Because don't forget, I also want to, if we have time, to use this. All right, let's pop you down. So just give me a moment because I need to change through the settings. And hopefully it's not too crooked down there. All right, not too bad. Serena also says Altenew stencils are great. Thank you, Serena. All right, so I did want to stamp out the Precious Doodles first. Oh my goodness, this light. Let's see if I can tone it down a little bit. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit better. Let the camera adjust. So we have all those fun ink colors that I grabbed before. I also have a nice stack of cardstock with me. If you're just joining in, we had a new release today, and it is bold and it is beautiful. And we do have a lot of amazing products. Definitely, if you missed my whole spiel in the last 15 minutes, go on altenew.com or check out our blog and see what everybody made. It's really spectacular what they do. It's so creative. All right, since I have a lot to get to, maybe I'll just do some stamping demos instead of full projects, and then you can see full projects in those areas that I just told you before, the blog and the website. So since this is my first time stamping this, I am going to do some conditioning. Somebody asked me once, they're like, John, you always say on your lives, like, this is your first time using the stamp set. How is that possible when you design a lot of the stamp sets? And the reason is because, first of all, unfortunately, I have a lot less time to craft because I am so busy with designing a lot of the time. So, you know, we're working far in advance. So things that I'm designing now are for 2023. So that's part of it. I guess like the lives and the workshops, they really are some of the only times I get to craft. Although we have been doing some crafting dates with the Altenew team. So that's myself, Tasneem, Lydia, May, and Nicole. And we've been doing like virtual crafting dates just because all of us want to have time to do more crafting than we have been doing. So it's really nice to do that. But it's like by the time the products come and I'm so excited to use them, I'm already working on something that's coming out like in months and months and months. So that's why a lot of times this is like a fresh out of the package stamp set. So I'm really excited to use it. We do have our trifolds. So if you're new to Altenew, we do make the packaging as useful as we can. So we've got the layering guide, but like I said, this one's pretty easy. We do have like a numbering system. So if you can see, I'm not sure if it will focus, A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, and it just helps you get through the layering process a little bit easier. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to use a acrylic block for right now. Whenever I do smaller images, which you see these are, or if I stamp sentiments, I do typically like to go the acrylic block route, especially since I'm going to be offsetting this stamping a little bit. Remember I told you I like when the outline is slightly offset from the colored images part. Sue saying, will there be new holiday and Christmas things soon? Yeah, our September release. So that's next month's release, but it's actually releasing one day early. So the 31st of August will be the holiday and winter product release. So if you have been waiting for that, then it is coming. Don't you worry. All right, so I'm actually going to use the solid image first, and this is the A2 layer. And the reason for that is I want the outlines not to be black. I want them to be a color that's darker than the solid area. And if I use black, it's not as bad because that black isn't going to bleed, especially if I use obsidian. But I'm going to be using dye ink for both of these layers. And, you know, sometimes if you don't let the first part dry, then they might like feather out a little bit on those lines. And I want the lines to be as crisp as possible. And hello to everybody else who's joined in recently. I think I haven't missed any questions, but if I have, please let me know. All right, so this is just going to be a stamping demo. Let me see if I can bring you in a little closer. My block is filthy. Don't judge. All right, so let's pull out Pinkalicious for this. And I like to do like a wiggle tap technique when I stamp. So wiggling, I feel like gets all the ink on, if you can't really see what I'm doing. There you go. And then the tapping removes any streakiness. And this is dye ink, so you can see it kind of started off like slightly splotchy. It's already starting to even out. That's just something that happens with dye inks when you stamp them. And I'm using a little chamois with some water to clean off my stamps over here. All right, so that is just one quick layer. And now I'm going to do the center of the flower. I'm telling you, these are so easy. Let me use bamboo. I think that'd be really nice. I'm trying to see what someone is asking. I don't know if it is a spam comment. I'm actually quite confused by it. So maybe Angel, if you can check that out in the comments, because it doesn't seem to be about crafting. Okay, stamping the little center. I was considering pulling out some yellow ink, but I didn't grab any. I'm okay with the green. Paul is asking if we're going to release a storage unit for the mini blending brushes. That is something that we've been working on sourcing. We do have one, and I'm sure this is why you're asking. We have one for the small blending brushes, and it keeps them contained and organized. And then the mini guys, and then also the detailed blending brushes, and then the large blending tools. They don't have any Altenew branded storage solutions yet, but I will definitely pass that request over to the team. Okay, so now we're gonna stamp on the lines, and very easy to line up perfectly just because these are clear photopolymer stamps and I can see right through it. I'm going to go in with some Rubelite ink, but I am offsetting. So I am purposefully going to stamp this a little bit off from the background. Okay. So I feel like when I'm doing a whimsical image like that, it just kind of adds a little fun, unexpected twist. If you want to see what this looks like without the layers behind it, stamp it like that. So you can see it's not like a full outline. The lines don't go around the petals completely. So that's why I think it kind of works well for this technique. Now, if I did want to stamp it perfectly, we can do that too. So let me go back in. Let's do wisteria, and I'll do a different flower. I'm going to grab the bee flower off of the sheet. So I'm going to do the same thing where I do the, sorry, I'm just kind of wiping that down a little bit. I'm going to use the solid image first with the wisteria ink. And we do have dies for these. So if you wanted to create a little arrangement, after you stamp them all out, you can die cut them. I really love this color. It's a very cool toned purple ink, and it's very light and sweet. All right, we're going to get the bee layer center on the acrylic block. And you can see why I do like to do small images with an acrylic block. I just, again, not only do I have the control, but I'm not worried about mounting into my stamp positioner. So I do have a couple of different stamp positioners, and although they are perfect for a lot of stamping, I don't know, I just don't grab them for smaller images. All right, now I told you I was going to stamp this perfectly aligned, but you know, we're live, so perfect may or may not happen. But I'm going to go in now with the ultraviolet. So this is 2 tones darker than the wisteria. So hydrangea would be the next one in the color family, but I'm popping over to ultraviolet just so that it's a little bit darker. Yeah, Susan says she loves the colors. I do too. I was feeling very inspired by these colors today. Okay, let's see if we can rock this out. There we go. So here is the offset look, and here is the right on target look. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you like, mix it up. I feel like I can definitely maybe turn this into a 1-layer card. Let's keep going. That's had a little bit of time to dry. So let me go into the pink diamond. We'll grab that A1 layer again. And after I have these flowers, I will just put some leaves around them, and then we'll stamp one of those sentiments. Maybe even some of the C layers. I think these are so cute, like these little branches. Naomi's saying this set is on her wish list. I hope you end up getting it. I know it's hard when we have products we want, because I'm sure you have a lot of different things that you would love to add to your collection. All right, I'm just going ahead and lining that up first, and then I'm going to go in and stamp it. And I know that this is the correct orientation. It just helps me as I'm stamping. Okay, so wiggle, wiggle, pat, pat. This is a very light pink. Hopefully it shows up nicely on camera. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, and I stamped it without being offset. And then we'll add a little center to that one too. This is so cute. It's just so nice to do easy stamping. I know I've said this before, but like whenever you are crafting, like you're in a different mood, right? I'm in the mood to do simple layering right now. If I was in the mood to do something more complex, I could definitely grab one of my more complex stamp sets and get a more realistic result, more variation to the shadows and highlights. But this is just satisfying my crafty urges today. So that's what we're doing. All right, I'm going to go back in that bamboo. Vicky's wish list is always growing. I know. It's so hard, isn't it? It's tough being a crafter. We want everything. I had some friends that I used to craft with in person all the time, and it was so nice to get to share our stamps and share our inks, because I felt like I didn't really need to buy everything on my wish list as long as one of us bought it. So then we would get together. We tried once a week. Usually, realistically, it was every other week we'd end up together. But it was just fun to share everything that we had. We'd all bring our newest stamp supplies and, just have a nice little crafting session. And of course, I did more chatting than actual crafting. All right, so yeah, let's do some of these little branches. I think it'll be fun to add them around. I do have some blue tones that we haven't used yet. Just kind of build a little arrangement here. Keeping it nice and easy. So this was olive, if I didn't say that out loud. And that was my C1 layer. So now we're going into the C2 layer. And I'm going to go in with some turquoise ink. Again, these are really easy just to stamp into position. And I think I'll do Sea Breeze for that one over there. You guys can tell I have no real plan. The colors were my plan. That was it. And there we go. Oh, it's coming together nicely. So if you guys have any questions about products or suggestions, definitely pop them into the comments, because even if I don't see them right away, I do try to go back onto Facebook maybe later tonight or tomorrow, and I will write in any answers to questions that I didn't answer or that maybe Angel missed during the live session, just so that it does get answered. So definitely don't worry if I miss you, because I will try my very best to get back to those questions and suggestions. I'm going to stamp some light green, so we'll do that same bamboo again. Oops. Okay. Sorry, the light keeps changing. Stamp this one over here. I will add more, don't worry. I know it looks a little strange with just two little leaves right there. And yeah, I think everyone's wish list is growing. Sorry, guys. It's just the nature of how it is. All right, let's go with olive. And stamping on the veins. I will definitely be adding some more greenery towards the bottom just to balance everything out too. All right, for these, I'm going to stamp in Parrot. So that's the second color. For our older inks where we don't mention where it falls in the color lineup in the family, like as far as lightest to darkest, I have just taken a little pen and I've just written on the back. So if that helps you, go on the website and you can see the colors in order, and then you can just number them with a pen or a marker, and then you'll always have that information ready to go, and you'll never be questioning which color comes next if you're doing a layering image. Okay. And Sorry that got a little quiet there. I'm just trying to mentally plan what I'm going to stamp next. All right, let's do moss for the veins. And again, this is why like just a plain acrylic block is such an indispensable tool. And I love the Altenew acrylic blocks. They're nice and thick. So you guys can see that they are really easy to hold on to. Let me see if I can show you one from another brand. I'm not going to say what brand it is because I don't want to call out another company, but also I don't know which brand this is. But like here's an older acrylic block I've had for a long time. And here's the Altenew acrylic block. The older one is plain and ours is etched with the grid marks. So it really helps when you're trying to line up things like sentiments, if you're stamping those by hand. Just feel like this is really charming, fun little design. All right, we'll just add a couple more leaves with the last leaf image. So, and then I think I want to add some of the berries. We've got these little berry images down at the bottom. And I think that'll just kind of tie everything together nicely. I think I need more lighter leaves. So I'm going back into the parrot and stamping them out. Now, again, for those of you who are just tuning in, please share while we're live because you will have an opportunity to win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. And where is this leaf going to go? Yeah, I think that'll work. And then go ahead and check out our blog hop and everything that we've got on social media so you can see some of the amazing projects made by our design team and guests. They're just so talented. We have a fantastic design team, if I do say so myself. All right, Olive will just be going in to stamp the veins. And then I'm thinking the berries might be blue also, just to bring in more of that blue color. Thank you, Stacy. She's saying she loves the colors that I'm using. And again, I am not being careful to get all of these lined up perfectly. Some are lined up perfectly and others are off. And it really does not detract. I think it adds to this type of design. You know what I mean? Like it's obvious that it's intentionally imperfect. Also makes it easier for beginners because if you are not good at lining up stamps, or maybe your vision isn't what it used to be and you have difficulty lining up stamps, then a set like this is really good because you don't really have to line it up. Okay, let's put on these little berry guys and we'll stick on a sentiment. And go back in that olive actually. Where shall this go? Down here. And maybe just the one. I'll just keep it flowing this way. Thank you to all of the comments. Yeah, the lined images like this are really fun. And if you also want to just stamp the outlines in maybe permanent black ink, then you can go in and color them yourself. So you don't have to use the solid stamps if you just want to use the outlines. It would also be fun to just take a marker and draw the little berries on yourself without needing to stamp them. So let's do the Sea Breeze. So I'm going in with the lighter blue ink here. I'm just going to pop these guys on, and then we get to pick which literary quote we want to add to this. Trying to figure out if things are light enough down here that I can stamp the sentiment on top in black ink and have it not be obscured by some of the colors. Or, you know, sometimes when you layer up a sentiment, it works perfectly. And other times you layer sentiment and you're like, I can't read that sentiment at all. What did I do? All right, so again, this is the Charming Doodles stamps, or sorry, Precious Doodles stamp set, which does coordinate with our previously released Charming Doodles. Just a similar design style, if that's a style that you like. Okay, so again, these are the sentiments from the Well Read stamp set. So I'm actually going to pull this out and see what fits on my background that I've created. It's nice that it is clear, so I can just like imagine. This one's really nice. Just in case you ever foolishly forget, I'm never not thinking of you. And that was written by Virginia Woolf and featured in her Selected Diaries, I don't know what to call it, compilation. No, I think it's going to be this one. Friendship is one of the most satisfying things in the world by E.B. White from Charlotte's Web. And again, just bringing out my stamp conditioning eraser because I have not stamped out this stamp set yet. Nancy, I love them too. She's saying she loves the new sentiments. Okay, let's just get this on the block. I know I'm crazy looking when I do this, but sometimes I just like to mount it by hand. Another method of mounting a sentiment to a lined acrylic block, especially when you have a mat with lines, like this one is our Altenew cutting and alignment mat. You can place the sentiment on first, then pick it up by lining it up and then stamping it. But sometimes I feel like it's not lined up as great as it could be. And I think just lining it up by hand, I do a little bit better. I don't know. All right, here's the Obsidian Pigment ink. And we will stamp this out. And even though I said I wasn't making a card, we ended up with a card. Okay, I'm going to place this here in the A2 panel. Sorry, I'm a little off screen, but I will show you what it looks like once it is stamped. That is cute. You guys, come on. Is that not the sweetest card? Friendship is one of the most satisfying things in the world. And it is able to be read with the stamps behind it. I'm telling you, if it wasn't, I was going to stamp this again on a white strip and I was going to put it here. So there was a backup plan. There's not always a backup plan, but there happened to be a backup plan today. If I ever stamp a sentiment wrong, the backup plan is 99% of the time stamping it again on a strip and 3D mounting it. Okay, so that is our card. It is just a panel, but I will mount it to a folded card base whenever I'm ready to give it to somebody because it's just a lot easier to store like this. Okay, let's put this away and see if I can remember what other promises I made to you guys. We've got about 15 minutes left. I think I showed you, I was going to do something with the stencil, right? Somebody asked about the hummingbird in the stencil set. So let's do that. So I'll open up the Dazzling Dahlia stamp set. This, I promise, I'm not making a card. I don't want to let you guys down, but I don't think I can handle a card in 15 minutes. Maybe I could. I don't know. All right, let's open this one up. Just like the other stamp set I showed you, there is a trifold insert. The only images that the only stamp sets that have trifolds are 4x6 and larger. So we do have the 4x6, the 6x8, and then we have two massive, I believe it's 8x10 stamp sets. But the smaller ones do not have the trifold insert. That doesn't mean there's a lack of inspiration. You can definitely go on the website and find all of the samples to get inspired. Also, you guys, the QR codes, this leads directly to the product listing. So if you're ever wondering, like, what should I make? I don't really know. I'm inspired by these cards, but I don't feel like really copying those samples. Then you can go on and see everything else that's on the website listing just by scanning that QR code. Okay, and back again with the stamp conditioning eraser. All right, and then we will stamp this out with the black ink, Obsidian, once more. Now again, since this is pigment, I am going to give it a little moment to dry. Maybe I'll stamp 2 to show you maybe 2 different ways to color them. Maybe this one's flying towards that one. They're friends. And again, I'm just going to clean this off with a damp chamois pad, not pad, cloth. And yeah, I do usually use water to clean my stamps, like, again, 90% of the time. Every once in a while, you'll get some stubborn ink, and then I'll use our ink spray, which works great. You just spray it once, and then that ink just glides off. But I do just most often use water to clean my stamps. All right, while we are letting that pigment ink dry, let's open up the stencil set. And here is the stencil bifold. So inside you have the layering guide. And you can see, this is what I was trying to explain before. There is only one image for the hummingbird. It's not a multi-step stencil like some of our other ones are. You know, the flowers have multi-steps. Other stencils we have are actually layering stencils. This is just one, but that doesn't mean you can't get good depth. Even here on the sample, you can see it's a little bit darker shaded towards the right of the hummingbird, a little bit lighter towards the left. You can definitely use your blending tools to customize that. Okay, let me just take out the one we need right here. I feel like this isn't dry yet. I might give that another second. And while we're doing that, I'm going to cut a piece of this brushed cardstock. This is the brushed copper metallic cardstock. And again, it is just so gorgeous. And I'm sorry you guys cannot tell from your computer screen. All right, just like this. And some of you guys seemed very interested in the floating feathers. So let me pull that out and just add to the mess that I'm creating. And pop this guy open, stick this in, and close it up. Okay, now I do need to read how to do the sandwich for my die cutter. It does not matter how many times I do this. I always look and see how to do it. So we have an amazing die cut machine, the Mini Blossom die cut machine, and I use it all the time, but it does not, unfortunately, fit our embossing folders, and it's not an embossing machine anyway. It is strictly a die cut machine. So I am going to use my Gemini Junior. So let's see what I need here. Clear cutting plate, magnetic shim, our embossing folder, and the plastic shim. Are you guys like me? Do you have your cutting sandwiches memorized, or, I mean, do you have to refer for your cutting sandwiches, or are you cool and you have them memorized? Because I do not. All right, let me just run this through the machine. Give me a moment while it goes through. And then when I pop it out, hopefully you will see that spectacular effect. Oh my gosh, look at it. It's just so, I don't know, amazing. I don't know what else to say. I'm running out of adjectives. It's really, really cool. I need a thesaurus. All right, so you can see what I was saying before is that with a metallic cardstock, you're getting so much depth in the shadows and highlights, and it really just emphasizes all of the texture in the folder. So it's just really, really cool. All right, next time I'll come with better vocabulary words. All right, let me just set all of this aside, and we will ink up our hummingbird. And then I will say this may be one of the most productive lives I've ever done. as far as getting everything done that I said I was going to do. All right, let's use our same inks because they're already here and they are great colors anyway for hummingbirds. And I'm going to use the mini blending brushes, I think. Maybe also angled brush. I don't have these for each color, but typically like each color family-ish. So you can see this one's already dirty with some purple ink. So I will be using that for purple. This one's got some like turquoisey teal. So I'll be using that. Norma says she's glad to see me use the stencils. She bought several flower stencils and haven't been very successful yet. All right, I would say watch the videos. We do have some how-to videos on using the stencils. And then also a lot of times our designers will create videos for the Altenew YouTube channel using the stencils, and you'll get to see those in use up close in high def, step by step, because I know that the live is not the highest definition either, just because of the nature of a live stream. So definitely, if you want to see those used in more detail, step by step, definitely check out those resources because I think it'll help you a lot. Okay, turquoise. Let's go in and do, I don't really know what color hummingbirds are. If I had more time, I think I would look up some reference images, but I'm going to go with the turquoise towards the bottom, maybe a little bit up on the wings too. And oops, I shifted my stencil. I probably should have taped it down, but we're coming towards the end of the live stream. I don't have time for tape. Okay, let's go with hydrangea. And because this is a small angled brush, I can really just get along that very upper edge of this guy's wings. And just blend that out as much or as little as I want. I think I'll also take it up on his head a little bit. That's cute. And then last but not least, let's bring in one more color. How about Parrot? And I do have a teeny tiny little angled brush to use for his little face. And I'm just coming, if I'm starting off the stencil, I feel like I get a better blend. Because sometimes if you put the tool like right on, you might get a little bit heavier ink application just in that one spot. Okay, so here we go. I would say that was easy, wasn't it? Look how nice it is. All right, I'm going to do this one in some slightly different colors. Let me just wipe down the stencil with the same cloth I've been using for this whole live. And let's go with Pink Diamond. And I'll grab a blending brush that has pink on it. I think I have a little bit of residual ink. Just wipe that up. And I think I'll do the similar thing. I'll start down by his tail, bring the color up on the wings. And you know what? Let me show you how you could just use one color to get a really nice look here. So this is a fairly light ink, and you can see if I keep going over it, I am going to get a deeper and deeper color. That's just because I'm adding a lot more pigment to that one area. And as the dye ink gets absorbed by the cardstock, it's just going to intensify that color. So even if I was stamping this, you'd see it was really light, but I can get a much more saturated look just by going over it a bunch of times. All right, so two little options there for our hummingbird. So just really easy just to blend quickly. That took no time at all. And it's just as easy to do the same thing with the flowers, especially since we have the layering guide. Our stencils are etched, So we do have separation lines, we do have numbers. The numbers correspond with the layering guide. So we try to make it as easy as possible. So anyone out there who has struggled in the past, please give it another try and watch the videos to see the one that you are having difficulty with. So let's say there's one specific stencil set that you're struggling with, then go ahead and do a search on our YouTube channel for that stencil set. And then you can get a better idea by watching a tutorial. All right, let me pop back up to the front. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you again. Yvette is saying hummingbirds are like multicolored, I think, and you can just use whatever ink is left in your brushes to get good looking multicolored birds and clean off your brushes. Oh, now I want to try that too. Let me see. All right, while I'm doing this, I know you can't see it. I'll show you at the end. I just want to thank you guys for stopping by and for having fun and chatting with me while I experiment with our newest release. This is the Bold and Beautiful release that came out today. And there's just a lot to see. I feel like there's something for everybody. So if you have a more like classic style, then you can find something here. If you have a more sweet and cartoonish and I don't know, cutesy style, you can find something in this release. It is very diverse for a lot of different people. All right, today we made an actual finished one layer card. We actually did it. I'm saying me. I finally finished a card. Let's put that on the record. Jen finished a card during a Facebook Live. We also embossed with the floating feather onto our amazing brushed metallic cardstock. Looks really cool. We also stamped some hummingbirds and we used ink blending tools and a stencil set. And as recommended by you guys, I tried using what was left over on the brushes. This wasn't even the brush that we used today. I took not new brushes. I took different brushes out of my stash that already had ink on them. And I was able to get quite a bit of ink off of that. So if I had stamped that first, I can just clean off the brushes with the ink blending. So that was a really cool idea. And I see that everyone is saying goodbye and thank you. No, thank you guys. I really love seeing your reactions to the products and seeing the comments that you leave. And of course, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us and the Altenew support team or me or Tasneem directly. And if you have product suggestions, we always love to hear them. Thank you so much for joining me on our Facebook Live today. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.